bwana Mungu amelenga mwendaji hapa anaongea mjini hapo muda kitoi mazroba mama wale wale ya mbele kujiamini na blog kitoi anga anaongelea kwa jambo la ndio kikao nikakisikia sana kwa maana nikakisikia mahali sana sasa na shule kwa mapenzi ya wangu na
Yeah, we have.
No, we don't. You got a class.
Yes.
Jadi abang dia bilang, aku jangan
This said she's not coming. Joshua is going home. He is sad. But I don't know if he's coming or not.
So funny.
What is that?
We like to have classes spring every day. Let's go for that. My class is done, so they have two. That kind of class at the same time. They want to go.
Mama doesn't know what to do.
So move back to Joseph on Monday.
What are you doing?
It's about Mama glasses.
Maybe I look at him, Mama, look at him.
See, I think you need it. Now the Lord is enough for you.
Good enough for you, but to explain people. Yes, I can tell you always.
You see there. Maybe I always put on the deal.
It doesn't work with
But who can tell what the woman does? Really, that's a grant if she's coming.
yeah, the branch is still within. I think it is 7. But there's no one person responded.
Would you?
There's one person who responded.
Yes, that was you, right?
No. Me, I didn't respond. I wasn't sure.
Oh. Right there, my name is Zosa Karami. I'm going to go more.
No, Christy said she doesn't have transport, so she didn't come today.
So much of the marks will come from your presentation. They will be, and you'll be fighting for another 20. Then 20 where I'm there, when come the 8. And the other 20 you expect to get at the 18, somewhere there. You have good marks into that.
The lowest good was
I think the lowest good there, 10. Read this one. Asking. Manzio. Asking Manzio. I'm going to use 10 out of 20. Right.
so who is the rest?
The highest got the Zola, got 14. The Grab got 14. Peace got 13. Mona Lisa got 4. That one I don't know. Efron got 7. I don't know if that. You also don't know it. It is a small model. Right. Let's start. First of all, Muslim way. Alright. We go for product suitability. If you look at our topic, we are analyzing product stability. In our focus is on analyzing and seeing if there are potentials within the market. That is, if you are to go in the new market, do you have the potential, or do you have that space that as people may love or may like your product? So when you're doing product stability, the objects are as follows. So you have objectives, and under objectives, you write to conduct a systematic assessment, of the suitability, of the finished product and services, to conduct a systematic assessment of the suitability, of the finished product, and services for the international customers. The second is to evaluate the degree of the fit between the product or service and the customer needs. So in short, just as I said earlier, the main focus is to ensure or to get ourselves that understanding as how suitable the product is in the international market or in the foreign market. So all you need to understand is to see whether the product is able to meet the needs of the people or not. So that in whatever way you try to frame your product or you try to come up with the product should be able to address the needs or the wants of the people. Then you write outcomes, and under outcomes you write the following. Determination of factors, that may hinder product, or service market that may hinder product or service market potential in each target market. In each target market. In each target market. Then the other one, identification of needs. Identification of needs. Identification of needs for the adaptation. Identification of needs for the adaptation that may be required. That may be required to initial or ongoing market entry. They be required to initial or ongoing market entry. So in short, we do the product stability test so that as we find out what are the challenges that may avoid us or that may avoid the company from penetrating into the new market. So that you figure out how best you can make the market a place for your product or service. Then we go to criteria. Criteria. And on the criteria, as to how you assess product stability, let's say assess the finished product and services. 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 With regard to number one. With regard to number one. Number one, you write foreign customer characteristics and requirements. Foreign customer characteristics and requirements. Foreign customer characteristics and requirements. So on that is, you may find that not all markets may have the same taste of a particular product. So what you need to do, you should be able to know how the customers look at the product, so that what exactly do customers need your product to have, so that as you tailor your product according to the needs and wants of the people. The other one, another point number two, government mandated regulations. Government mandated regulations. Government mandated regulations expectation of channel intermediaries, expectations of channel intermediaries, expectation of channel intermediaries, expectation of channel intermediaries. So what it is there, in trying to understand how the product is suitable to a particular market, we should be able to know what is exactly and the requirements of the government. So if you find that whatever regulations or rules the government might put in place, if they are not for you company, then definitely it is posing a challenge. But if you find that the regulations that are put in place are okay, that you may be able to go through, then it's fine and good. And again, you should also focus on the people you're working within the distribution channel. So we talk of natural gas, intermediary, or we talk of middlemen. So the question is, will you be able to be in line with the terms or the conditions that the middlemen or the intermediaries may be putting in place, so that you understand whether it's okay or not to do business in such area. The last, you know what, characteristics of competitors' offerings. Characteristics of competitors' offerings. Characteristics of competitors' offerings. Now, you're trying to compare what you're giving out or what you're saying out with what your peers are also setting up. So you find that always in any marketplace there is competition. So in one way or another, you try to strategize or you come up with a strategy that allows you to put your product or service understanding. So you should be able to see what your competitors are doing and how best you can beat such kind of competition. So you assess product stability by doing such kind of stuff. Alright, let's go and see this other one. You write issues that determine potential product demand. Issues that determine potential product demand. Issues that determine potential product demand. First, they say who initiates purchasing. Who initiates purchasing. So in that case, when they say who actually initiates purchasing, we would like to know who are the main customers of the product. So in understanding them, who are the main customers of the product, we will just help you to understand much more about those customers. So that whenever you're giving the service of the product, you should be able to give such kind of stuff in line with the expectations of those customers. So you try to be innovative enough so that you are able to speak to the customers through the service or the product that you are providing. The other one, who uses the product or service? Who uses the product or service? So in this case, we look at nothing but the consumers or the final buyer. So by knowing who actually uses the product, we would like to understand much more on the use of the product itself. Why is the product bought? And in understanding the main reasons why the customers buy that product or what that product is used for, definitely it will help you to understand as a business on how you can effectively make improvement or make consistent in the market by understanding any changes or the trends, so that as time goes, you are also putting some improvement on the product that you are giving. Then you have the other one. Why do people buy the product or service? Why do people buy the product or service? So in this case, we say why do people buy the product? You should be able to know the reason, because the reason itself as to why people are buying the product will determine the demand itself. So you may find that there are some services or there are some products that all of them they may be seasonal. So in understanding why people do buy the product or do have the service, will tell you on how best you can be strategizing, so that at all costs you are trying to maintain your relevance within the market space itself. Then we also have this, let's say, where the customers purchase the product or service. Where do customers purchase the product or service? And under that, all you're focusing is that you should be able to understand again the competitors. So that you know for sure that you're not conforming to what the customer are interested in. Definitely your customers will go for your competitors. So you should be able to know who else is giving the very same product or the very same service as yours. So that you should understand the competition itself. You find that you'll be able to take into consideration or to take into your plan your competitors as well. Because if you fail or you disappoint your customers, then definitely they will leave you for your competitors. And at the end, you may not have business. So you should be able to understand such kind of stuff. The last part, they're saying, what economic, cultural, what economic, cultural, what economic, cultural, geographic, or other factors, what economic, cultural, geographic, or other factors in the target market can limit sales. So in this case, you are trying to understand the environment. So in understanding the environment, when you talk of economy, you got methods of production and a bit of size within the economy, and all other kind of stuff as what impact do they have on your business. So that you should be able to understand the environment and see how best you can do or you can prevail your business within the market. What's the role of cultural? We look at cultural environment. You try to understand the beliefs, the norms of the people, so that you know how you should approach or how you should reach those customers with your products. Geographic, again, you look at in terms of accessibility. How are people finding it easy or tough to get access to your products? So you find that geographically, some businesses may be positioned in places where they are not accessible or they are not easily accessible, or they are in a situation where for them to get resources or raw materials is always challenging. So you should be able to see where geographically you are located and how the location poses a challenge or an opportunity as you try to sell the market. That's then on the product stability. And under product stability, I think that was our second task in as far as analyzing and targeting the global market opportunity is concerned. So we go to the first task, and the first task is country screening. So when you talk of country screening, and the country screening, what we're focusing on is having an analysis or evaluation of each and every country that you're trying to go into. So if you're trying to go international, you find that there will be a number of countries that probably may be giving you a green light that you can do business inside in their country. But you may find that, or you may realize that you may not be able to do a business in all the countries at once. So you may be able to choose among the countries that are available, choose the best shoe, where you find that others you can start with, or gives the most possible potential as compared to the others. So under country screening, just as usual, you write objectives, and under objectives, you write to reduce the number of countries, that warrant intake, to reduce the number of countries that warrant intake, investigation as potential target markets, in-depth investigation as potential target markets, to a manageable few. So just as I said, you may not do business into all these countries at once, but you just have to select a few countries, those that you can try into them. Then we go to the outcomes. Most of them are the other session, Yogo Panand.
Just that,
Yeah. Momona Sowina Sado Minino Javia. As we go there, watch it out.
No, the session is
It is very just blood everywhere. Angomuta Nava. Wina Germany, what you Momon, woman, you ask, and what I know, yeah, but what is happening? Demon.
Well, the other lady was getting
Yeah.
nice sister. She's one of our friends.
She's one of you?
Friends, yeah, she's a friend.
Yeah.
I don't know who made them on I don't believe it, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know anything of the answer. We just busy a word. I'm going to post.
There are like jadi group lagi tinggal school anak punya kalau begini ada sama kerja sedang sih terkasih sure they were supposed to appeal for court terkasih there was a year there was another lady there was last person now we got do we don't know whether it's true and I say it's just speculation.
Yeah, it can be true.
Sure, how come you guys don't know about Lago?
Yeah, we're just visiting.
What is that? For this? Always. Just like that. In our policy, this is Vegas, what happened.
We don't tell you that.
Where is my name?
It's scared. Nobody will trust now.
Yeah. You cannot trust anyone. It's very hard, very hard.
The friends we have, they can also betray us. The families.
Sure, that we will make a winner in the name of business. Winner is the last time one else. I think a mark is not true. What for it? Mental and from Kansas City State. One player. In Adiana, another player from Wim Dial.
We know so the man can put down with Simi.
What happened?
I was just a little to go with me.
No, that's bad. Very bad. Do you see? We are the more way of away.
That's why I don't like this guy in my house.
You don't like?
This guy.
Oh, yes, thank you.
My son, my niece, the lady.
And you don't want people as well. Why? You can bear it.
I don't want to. Yeah, trust no one.
Okay, at the moment you're friends, definitely. And that's where we
Even the friends I don't like friends coming as well.
So where do you mean?
Town.
It is.
When I married, I just want my brother to pick them up. I see them as my brothers. That's why I'm always in 25 when they are visitors.
I thought you say, where do you say?
I stay in the 51. But my brother stays in 25. Never was no phenomenon. Friends and relatives in my house.
Oh, what do you want? Sudah kayak agak biasa.
Because
yeah, no. Okay, very important. Both of them. You can trust in all as already said. For example, Imakadi jogava com o liberto. Apenas Imakada de uma vez they able to give the service where we are not there. Somebody might come at home, say that it's not a great deal, moment. They never see. Rose Mardi Nimabi, prepare. You don't even know can Nimagabita be Yamadi, Rose Mardi Nimabi, then Ayamada, I already have.
No, that's very sudden.
I don't they come very maybe or sometimes they come in Munim Bama
that's the ring.
Almavia. So
And I don't know.
you have never
When I was staying with my parents, we used to have, but when I moved out, I don't want. Because I've seen issues where I wonder.
There you go. Come on, say people and their no face already. It's hard. I don't take all the other. I got the other.
I know it's there no brother.
Come on, just Zubiri Gamma, Rosemont. You cannot be free to do whatever you want to do. Because you are always like, hey, we are the government this way, we are the government this way. So it's Ruba, just my nigga, Gata, though, which side of the idea is government.
My boys can dance and chant in it. I'm going to know about shit. They're scared. Now, I think I'm going to do more about the women.
Yeah, for me, I would say that's a value. And I think one thing is, in terms of association, in those days, even though you went to a policeman, I'm a kind of let's take, perhaps have said in every police person or every policeman or woman, the location woman today, a policeman, the neighbor. Then you understand those people, you can't have that feel, or if you have a meeting from the straight in there. This is good. I know a certain lady. This is the other time I met God traffic. So you wake up the police and said, yes. Yeah, it is one of the police, but in my mind, I still have the image. Meaning not zero. Never such kind of stuff suddenly easy. And this time around, it is too much corruption. This is very crime. If for example, in your marriage, you find somebody, police job, somebody who moves you. What? Definitely, you can't have something that is so strong.
But there's no security around.
Yeah, there's no security. There is no security. No security. Passing. Can we to us over there? Can just the government?
Well, being banana, you know, all kinds of like I've said.
A commander that would have been there. That would have been. Trade is been a world war. What is that? The middle school. Come on, take a director one question view. I'm at the east side of Canadian. Nothing. There's nothing. That's why you find me antennas work, let's take Mugoranta outfield. There is something good in Indonesia. Yeah, if it's not going to I work with people, but they're underground, mostly, by the way, they actually get the job. The people are doing out. We are not. We have had a good break.
Yes, rate on outcomes.
Okay, outcomes. So the outcomes, you get this. Identification of 5 to 6, a high potential country. Identification of 5 to 6. Identification of 5 to 6, a high potential country market. 5 to 6, a high potential country market that are most promising for the field that are most promising for the field. Full stop. Then you go to criteria, and on criteria, you write this. Market size and growth rate, market size and growth rate, market intensity, market intensity, market intensity, market intensity, you put in brackets, that is buying power of residents. Buying power of residents, buying power of residents in terms of income level, in terms of income level, in terms of income level, comma, consumption capacity, consumption capacity, consumption capacity, consumption capacity, consumption capacity, you put in brackets, that is size and growth rate, size and growth rate, size and growth rate. And Medina, do you know grammatical allocation? Some people, they're there just to calculate our moves. You know that?
I know the phrase who does that.
Oh, I'm not.
I'm suddenly just doing machine.
Yeah, so you can be just wait here to get it. At all costs to get it. So the example, you find that the example things that, yes,
I didn't left something there.
check. We know what?
Oh, yeah.
What is, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, what's there in the middle there?
Oh, no, I think that's on mine.
Oh, right. Alright. So you find the evening, as you're here, somewhere where you don't even know, people are discussing about it. So you can hear on.
The friends they should discuss with, they always come back to me and support.
You get behind it, exactly when they you're not living. You're dead living. Okay, so consumption capacity, that is size and growth rate of the country's middle class. Size and growth rate of the country's middle class, Size and growth of the country's middle class, comma, you write country's receptivity to imports, country's, sorry?
You say countries what?
Country's receptivity.
Okay.
Yeah, receptivity to imports, country's receptivity to imports, country's receptivity to imports, infrastructure appropriate for doing business, infrastructure appropriate for doing business, is infrastructure appropriate for doing business. Economic freedom, the last one is political risk. So, in terms of analyzing or screening the country's potential, you look at the market size and growth. That is, you look at how is the market growing. So, we determine the growth of the market through the demand of like developing countries, you expect the fact that they're developing, you expect that they should do too much of demand for products, likewise resource safety. And also talk of market intensity. Here they're saying talk of the buying power, of which it will be determined by how much people are earning. And among the earning that people make, how much money is there for, how much of the money is there for disposable income. You talk of money that can be spent anyhow. So you find that in countries where you find that people are not earning much, definitely their spending against the what is less. Because you may not spend if you don't make money. And always, even if your earning is limited, you may not provide an opportunity to many businesses. So the earning condition of the people or the earning capacity will determine the market intensity. That is how people are likely or are willing to buy from the market or from the business. Also, talk of consumption. Here they talk of consumption capacity. That's in certain prospect of the country's middle class. Those middle class, whenever we talk of how people classify rich, middle, as well as the poor. So if we have many people within the middle class, definitely we expect to create a good market for the business. But if it's not there, you find that it will always be hard for the business to grow, just because there isn't a market for the product. Then also you look at things like receptivity to imports. That is to say, is the country willing to buy? Sometimes in a concept, you find yourself in a foreign market, but if the foreign market or in that country, let's say there are too much restrictions in as far as importation is concerned, then you will find that you will always be cornered, or you always not be flexible to have that opportunity so that you can also be buying from outside to support your business. So you always have limitations there. Also, you look at infrastructure. You talk of road network and any other infrastructure that may provide support to the business. You should be able to see such kind of infrastructure in the country and see how they are helpful towards your business. Because if infrastructure-wise the country is poor, then definitely there is also a limit for you to do business in such countries. In terms of economic freedom, that is, do you have that liberty to do business anyhow without too much restriction? You find that in other countries there are so many restrictions so that you may not be able to do business free. Likewise, political risk. You look at the political stability of the country. Is the country stable or unstable? In such kind of stuff will determine the potential that you have the chance that you may not be the speaker or not. Now let's look at the other part. In looking at the other part, we look at factors that contribute to market attractiveness. Factors that contribute to market attractiveness. Factors that contribute to market attractiveness. Anything that you get, what would make the market attractive?
Quality of the product.
Quality of the product. Alright, let's have a look at that. On these factors, our first factor is that market size and market growth. Market size and market growth. Market size and market growth. In market size and market growth, you look at the growth rate of the market. If the market is growing, definitely it makes the market attractive. Because everyone will be willing to join the market because there's so much potential. But if there is no growth in the market, you find that it will always be challenging just because you may not be able reach something or to gain something from the market, because the market is stagnant or it is growing down. The other, you got the national income and growth. National income and growth. When we talk of national income and growth, we are looking at how people are earning again. So when people do have money, you find that the market is very attractive, because the fact that people are able to earn money, that earning itself will create demand for products and services. You only